Hello, we're currently doing a weekly, I'm not doing an angel card reading, but we're doing a weekly channeling for the energy of the week, December 16th through to December 22nd. So we're really creeping up on Christmas. We also have a solar eclipse coming up around the 21st and 22nd. So the energy of eclipses can often signify lots of change. We're also shifting over into 2020. So lots of stuff happening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking and commenting. I so much appreciate it. You can also go onto robinshealing.com if you'd like to book a session with me, whether it be a reading or a distant healing. I also offer sessions in person. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of connect here and channel some messages. So what do we need to know for Monday? I'm actually doing this on Monday. I do have my Christmas tree in the background, but it's slowly getting lights on it. So just calling in any energies that might want to participate in offering this healing. So the first thing that I'm seeing is someone who is kind of holding their body like this. And I look at that as someone who's trying to be perfect. And so on Monday, you may want to strive towards the blessings of imperfections when things aren't really going our way. All right. Sometimes this forces us to understand ourselves on a deeper level. Sometimes it's helpful when we're struggling, if we even get into panic mode. Maybe we're not that type of person, and all of a sudden we're starting to notice that we're acting in ways that we normally don't. So rather than going into judgment, just start identifying with your progress and how, when you experience these things, if you normally don't experience negative feelings and you are, look at how many times in your life you've experienced positive feelings, right? And it's when we're making things to be a bigger deal than what they actually are. So just that's where the solitude time comes up. Maybe there are things happening in your life that are forcing you to maybe agree to disagree, stuff like that. We are in a time of full moon energy, so we're still doing a lot of shadow work, so it makes sense that this stuff will be coming up, okay? But solitude's key for Monday. So the other thing that's coming up is, again, this is probably for the week, but maybe more on Monday, premonitions, things like that. The energy of being able to tap in and identify with the future. I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of deja vu moments, a lot of moments where I'm relating things back to stuff that have happened to me in my life, all bringing me back into the present of acknowledging that I'm here in this moment, and that's significant, right? So being in that present is super important. Thank you so much for the people, if you are watching, that came to my meditation that I did on Friday. It was a great success, so thank you for everyone who showed up for that. Okay, let's go into Tuesday the 17th. Right away I'm feeling this significant, that apparently is the word for the week, this significant uncomfortable feeling that I'm feeling in my back, okay? And I relate that to the hips, which could represent loneliness, a feeling of being lonely in your relationship. So relationships on Tuesday might be more important than they normally are, to feel supported, to feel loved, to feel comforted by other people in general. And then the other thing is it's partially the root chakra as well, talking about the energy of finances, your difficulties that you're going through right now, your needs, that feeling of being uncomfortable at times, that we're never really ever comfortable, right? When we're moving and changing and shifting. And those are the blessings that we get to have in our life. It's not always about the comfort. So we're trying to find like that love energy from others, but we're still trying to get ourselves out and being a little bit more playful. Because right now I feel like there's a lot of agitation with people because we're going through so many difficulties. Plans are changing frequently because we are in an energy where change we're shifting, right? So Tuesday, it's more about the shifting energy, all right? So blessings in disguise, absolutely. And the playful side, the party on, Garth. Has to happen, right? With friendships, that sort of thing. Embrace those things. Embrace what you're good at. Embrace who you are. Really identifying with your talents a bit more as well. So let's go into Wednesday, I feel like food's coming up around Wednesday. And so this is also related to shadow work. Often, and it makes sense with 2020 coming up and Christmas, that some people are, self-sabotaging, right? That's common. But then there's also going back into relationships, or maybe some envy energy towards other people, or maybe going back into your plans not really coming together and then being upset with other people. So Wednesday, you're going to find that obviously fulfillment, satisfaction is important. Obviously forgiveness comes up in there when we're doing full moon work. So it could be signify going back into shifting, someone physically moving their physical body, so exercise. It could be physically moving your whole body to a different place permanently, that you're no longer in one place, you're moving your whole location, that sort of thing. So as you're shifting and changing, work on your gratitude practice as well. Always try to remind yourself of why you're here, that sort of thing. Doing little things for yourself is going to be important Wednesday, okay? And that's also, I feel like Wednesday evening, you're going to start to feel more clarity on why you need to be grounded, that sort of thing. Why do I need to do my grounding practice, that sort of thing. Wednesday is going to help you with that. So let's go into more of our practice on Thursday. You're going to be finding that going back into that solitude energy, if you did the solitude practice, you're really starting to be more prosperous. Finances may be coming in, gentle energies might be coming in for you. You may be more decisive than normal. That's only for some people. And going back into Wednesday night, getting some clarity on things, you may be finding that there's a renewed sense of purpose. There's even maybe a youthful side, as we're talking about being more playful with with skincare, working on skincare products, stuff like that. So I feel like the Thursday energy is more related to the new 2020 energy in terms of that new beginning. I think if you're in tune and in sync with your body and self-love, you're already going to start putting in some of that January energy in motion, where you're already starting to make these amazing, beautiful changes that you probably have been working on for a long time. Sound healing is really great for people on Thursday as well. Listening to lyrics, that sort of thing, really working with more communication from the heart and from the spiritual. So if you channel, that might be a great day as well. Moving on to Friday. So Friday is there's a youthful energy, but there's also the energy of children, and really making sure that you're maintaining your energy for the kids that are around us, because this is ultimately a time for children. And so if we love ourselves, if we're working on our self-love practice on Friday, you're going to find that the energy of exercise will become easier for you. The feeling of gratitude will also become easier for you. And if you're feeling like things are a bit stale in your life, maybe there's some stubborn energy there, really just work on, I can't say self-love enough, but I feel like it's about kind of like what we were saying in the beginning, with the energies of almost if you're being a bit more explosive than you normally are. Just look at that as a sign that celebrate the fact that you haven't been that way, right? That it's okay that you're experiencing emotions or feelings that you haven't really felt even ever before, right? So new feelings aren't the worst thing in the world, because that's saying that you haven't been experiencing that, those feelings before. And so inviting new circumstances and enlightenment energy, all right? If you've never heard the word enlightenment, or if you've never invited enlightenment into your life, look at that, going back into the sound healing, that sort of thing, looking at that as a way to express yourself more, a way to identify with your body, which ultimately is going to help you with career also. So Friday, this is going back into, if you're doing the solitude practice, you're going to find that, and some of that stuff around like January energy, if you're starting to tap into your situations a bit more deeply, then you're going to find that the work is starting to make more sense to you, right? So it feels like there's some enlightenment, awakening, that sort of thing, self-expression, and just acknowledge that negative thoughts and feelings aren't completely bad, because it's showing us something, right? So I hope you have gratitude practice as well throughout the week. So let's talk about the weekend. Let's actually pull up a card for the weekend, because I feel like people like cards. Let's clear that deck. For people that work with cards, I'll often light a candle, clear my deck. And I still pulled up pretty much the top one. Archangel Uriel. So your emotions are healing, which enables you to open to greater love. I will help you release anger and unforgiveness from your heart and mind. So a lot of things that we've been discussing already. All right. So this is coming up to neglect. People saying, you've neglected me, or I've been neglecting myself. So self-care and purpose are coming up for the weekend, all right? This is that we are creatures of habit, right? And we have habits. That's normal. And so it's the reason why we're being called to going in throughout the week is to identify with our cravings, our feelings, and why things are the way that they are, that sort of thing. So that's why Friday trickles into the weekend in terms of our conditions, old conditioning, things like that. So theta healing would be great on the weekend too, to just kind of like brush up on some new skills, stuff like that, so that you don't have to worry about all that old stuff that's coming up for you. The other thing is just about being sanitary. That's a weird thing, but I look at being sanitary as someone who's just being a little bit more mindful of other people, right? So our empathetic skills are going to start playing a role in the weekend. And where we have this solar eclipse coming up, forcing us to start like practicing the things that we want to, or getting in touch with ourselves just a bit more. It may be a little bit intense on the weekend. So it's about seeing the vision and really floating into it. So it's not like don't rush into it, but just like kind of find yourself just finding those areas where you gravitate to most. So I'd say if you don't do your solitude practice, if you don't take that time for yourself this week, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I know I've also had circumstances arise where it's given me more time than I expected, and this is obviously a blessing for myself. So it's given me a chance to come on here and do this where I didn't think I'd be able to. And the self-expression piece is just finding yourself, discussing positive things too. It doesn't have to be negative things. It's the energy of giving and sharing, which ultimately is what Christmas is all about, okay? So it's definitely not about gifts. It's about expressing. Okay, so take care. I hope that you guys have a wonderful week, and please do comment. I'd appreciate it, just so I can see how you guys relate to these videos. Take care. Merry Christmas. Bye.